I am Neeraja, working an associate professor in MBA department from Malared Engineering College. Today we are going to discuss about capital budgeting. So here, capital. What do you mean by capital budgeting? Three terms we can divide. One is capital, one is budget, one is capital budgeting. Capital means operating operating the assets which is used for the production, we can say it as a capital. Operating assets used for production, we can say it as a capital. Budget, a plan with a detailed projected cash flows during some period. A plan that detailed projected cash flows during some period, we can say it as a budget. Yeah, capital budgeting means it is a process of analyzing the projects and deciding which one to include in capital budgeting. So capital is nothing but which is operating assets used for production, whereas a budget, a plan that detailed projected cash flows during some period. So with the two allocations, capital budgeting, it is a process of analyzing the project and deciding which one to include in capital budgeting. Now I'll see the meaning, the importance, the process, how the investment criteria, and what are the methods of capital budgeting. So generally, this budgeting is a management tool mainly for planning and controlling the future activity. So budgeting is a management tool for planning and controlling the future activity. According to one of the financial buzzwords, it is a plan for saving as well as borrowing and spending. So plan for saving, borrowing, and spending. So budget in simple, we can say it's a financial plan and it's a list of all the plan expenses and revenues. So financial plan, which we are going to list with all the plans and expenses and revenues. The main importance of growth capital budgeting, we can say the growth, the large amount, irreversibility, complexity, risk, and long-term implications. So here this all comes under the importance, the growth, the large amount, irreversibility, complexity, risk, and long-term implications. What are the benefits of capital budgeting decisions means? So here, whatever the project or a proposed project, we are going to forecast, we are going to return from the project, and then we are going to determine whether return from the project is adequate or not. So capital budgeting decision, it will evaluate the expenditure decisions which involve the correct outflows of funds, but are likely to produce benefits for a period of time more than 1 year. So this will be the benefits of capital budgeting. So here in simple, we can say the CB, I mean the capital budgeting, it refers to complete the process of generating, initiating the investment proposals, evaluating, ranking, and selecting the best alternative among them. Even monitoring, also making up all the investments which is made, where we are going to provide the assessment for the financial feasibility of the investment options, providing assessment for the financial feasibility of the investment options, where it is going to evaluate how an investment opportunity is worthwhile and how it fits to the company's strategy, goals, and objectives. Even the capital budgeting techniques are invariably used to all types of investment opportunities. From the purchase of a new piece of machinery to a whole factory, we can use this technique. So nearly there will be 8 steps which is included in the capital budgeting. So what we said earlier, it is a planning process where we are going to determine the firm's long-term investments like new machinery, such as purchasing of new machinery, a replacement of machinery, new plants, new products, research and development projects. The first step is we should have a good idea. We have to realize what is the need of the project. After that, second, we have to look up the suitable projects, look for the suitable projects. Third step, we have to identify and consider the alternatives. Fourth, we have to carry out the financial analysis, that is capital investment appraisal. Fifth, we have to analyze alternatives and we have to identify feasible alternatives in this one. Next, we have to choose the project to undertake, Next, we have to monitor the project along with the rest of the organization. Next, we have to carry out the post-completion audit. These are the 8 steps which is included in the capital budgeting. So now the process first is identification of potential investment opportunities. What are the investments we are having? What are the opportunities we are having? After identifying, we have to assembling of investment proposals. Whatever the investment opportunities we are having, then we will assemble the investment proposals. Then we'll make the decision making. After taking the decision, next we'll prepare the capital budget and its appropriations. Next, the implementation will be there. Next, the performance review will be there. This is the main process of capital budgeting. Generally, if we see the methods or techniques, there will be five we can say: average rate of return, average return on investment, payback period, net present value, where we used to say it as a NPV, IRR, internal rate of return method, and modified IRR. So here the techniques we say NPV, IRR, PB, profitability, and ARR. The first we'll see payback period. Payback period is nothing but the length of the time which is required to recover the initial outlay on the project. We can say it as a payback period. For example, 1 lakh rupees we have invested for 4 years is the life of the project. Each and every year, 25,000 we are going to get in the form of cash inflow. Within 4 years, we are going to get back our money, what we have invested. In this way, we used to say it as a payback period. Example, you can say cash flow is there where the initial investment is 100, where first year 34, second year 32.5, third year 31.37, fourth year 30.53 lakhs. So now it is of uneven where we are making the cumulative cash inflow. So cumulative minus 100, minus 66, 33.5, 2.13, 28.4. Based on this, we are going to calculate the length of time which is required to recover the initial outlay of the project. So like pros and cons, we can say the advantages, it is very simple. It is very rough and ready method for dealing with the risk. It emphasizes earlier cash inflows also. Whereas the limitations, we can say, it fails to consider the time value of money. How many years it will take time to recover our money, but they are not calculating what is the time period we are going to invest. Mainly, it ignores the cash flows beyond the payback period. After completion of 4 years, when we are going to get back our 1 lakh, they will not consider the remaining years. So ignores the cash flows beyond the payback period. Next is of net present value method. Here the evaluation in this method of investment proposal, it takes account time value of money. So where the present inflows is greater than the present value of outflows. In this evaluation, which is having the highest NPV, it should be selected. So NPV is greater than 0 means we are going to accept that project. NPV is less than 0 means we are going to reject the project. NPV is equals to 0 means may or may not accept that. It depends. Next is IRR. IRR is nothing but internal rate of return method. It is one of the sophisticated capital budgeting technique we can say. Here the discount rate which is going to equate the NPV of an investment opportunity, because here the present value of cash inflows will be equal to the initial investment. So it is a rate of return that the firm will earn if its investment in the project and receipts are given in the cash inflows. So based on the formula sigma nt is equals to 1 CFT by 1 plus IRR into the n power minus CF naught, we are going to calculate this IRR. So inflows where it is unequal, payback period initial investment divided by annual cash flows, uneven, payback period is equals to B plus C, where E plus B by C, where E means year immediately preceding the year of recovery, B is the amount left to be recovered, C is the cash inflows during the year of final. Before using all these values, first we have to find out the cumulative cash inflows. The last one, profitability index, where it is the ratio of the present value of cash inflows, which is the required rate of return to the initial cash outflow of the investment. So even we can say this profitability ratio is benefit cost ratio. The both are one the same. Here the formula we are going to calculate is profitability index is equals to present value of cash inflows divided by initial cash outlay. Present value of cash inflows divided by initial cash outlay. So these are the different techniques where we are going to calculate in capital budgeting. Thank you.